Well, hello again. Monday, week started again. All right, all right. That's the most important. All right, weekend. Well, the weather was a bit iffy, wasn't it? But then we got to expect it this time of the year. And I got a special announcement here, really, today to say for Kirsty Varney. I couldn't say happy birthday. Well, I could have done, but yesterday was the 22nd. But I'm saying it today, and I just hope that you had a lovely day yesterday, and you were spoilt a little bit, and. And Pembroke Low and Niece is in Cornish. That's happy birthday to you. So well done. Take care. And I say to everybody else, this is only me and we talking. I say to my wife, I know everybody's on about Christmas, but it is a special time. We know it's a very special time, but we just got to make do with what is going to happen. What's going to thing is. I know if you can't see somebody, yes, it is upsetting, but plan for the future. It'll be all right. And I just say that, things now. Nobody would know if we was going to have beans on toast. It's not all about having the best of everything. It's just as long as you've got each other and a bit of company and you're okay. And I feel for these people that are on their own, that could do with a bit of company but aren't allowed to go A, B or C. But it'll pass. It'll be all right. Come Boxing Day, we'll be saying, oh, well, another 364 days to go, be Christmas round again. Now, anyhow, this is for Kirsty. This is by David Prowse, a place at the table. By Uncle Charles's farmhouse, in the yard around the rear, there stood a kitchen table, sadly shedding its veneer. Its heavy legs, now scarred and scratched, had seen their service done, and awaited demolition for the winter fires to come. But there are many pressing needs that fill a farmer's life, so despite the protestations and reminders from his wife, the table stayed for weeks, then months, then years against the wall, and became a playtime feature when my friends and I were small. We could lay our books across it, and we painted or we drew. We could use it as a hideout or an improvised HQ. We had a secret refuge in the drawer towards the end for treasure maps and trinkets and the pennies we could spend. When Uncle Charles would love us all and smile upon our dreams, as though he, too, were one of us wild, creative schemes. He never dampened childish fun with sober, staid advice. His passing nods were cherished seals endorsing paradise. One day when I arrived from school with energy to spare, he beckoned me towards him with a confidential air. Visitors, my son, he said, this time you're not alone, and I'll need some help from you to make the others feel at home. Despite my disappointment, I could only nod my head. Through optimism and eagerness, I'd given way to dread. Then I sensed in his expression he was hiding something more. A playful grin had surfaced as we trundled through the door. Straight through the house he led me to the stable round the back. Then he sat upon an oil drum, which he covered with a sack. His tone was now a whisper as he pointed from a seat to the old familiar table with its stained, bedraggled feet. The door was slightly open, but what else was there to see? Just watch and wait, he chuckled, and put all your trust in me. A minute seemed forever in these circumstances as these, and then I saw Bluetit, like a dart upon the breeze. It dipped and dived, then vanished in the drawer's convenient space, and then we heard the chirping of the youngsters saying grace. Our visitors, said Uncle Charles, do you think they'll get along? And deep inside, the voice of doubt was bursting into song. I shared that urgent zest for life, and as the days went by, I shared their halting, nervous flight towards the open sky. 4 fledgling lives I watched and shared as though the brood were mine, and learned the wondrous, breathless thrill of nature's grand design. I vowed to be like Uncle Charles, the caring, parent bird, who took us all beneath his wing. We're ne'er a loveless word. Within his arms all things were safe, should they be tame or wild. So wise is he who knows the world just understands a child. This one's called A Small World. John was ambling up the lane while wrapped against the cold, a figure small but twinkle-eyed of 80 winters old, but always smiling, always bright, howe'er the dark days, and sharpen his observation with a thought in every phrase. I need to know your secret, John. I took the offered hand. You always have an air of one who's found the promised land. No secret, son, he grinned again. No supple master plan. I just try to make a difference in the only way I can. I thought I'd change the world, you see, when I was young and strong. I saw myself as placed on earth to put the rights the wrong. Father had been off to war, the scars were on his mind. He did his best to keep us fed, but work was hard to find. I left school early, just a kid, but no one seemed to care. The pittance earned was valued more than any college chair. I swept up in a barber shop and slowly learned the trade. My head could barely find the space for all the plans I'd made. I met my Mavis, courted strong, prepared to settle down, and then another conflict loomed and all was turned around. So I became a desert rat as one of Monta's lads, and found a strength within myself I knew I never had. No, not heroics, nothing great, just that reflected power which comradeship and fear provide to face the morning hour. Together, sun and shoulder deep, that's how I made it home. That's how we change the world, I thought, not little men alone. My Mavis waited, bless her heart, and soon became my wife, and I, a backroom barber, settled down to married life. Small talk with back and sides as children go to men. We had 40 years together, and I'd live them all again. And all those dreams of blazing trails to change the status quo were lost within a terraced house with a barber's shop below. I realised the world for me was not across the seas, but here amongst those few square miles where neighbours hold the keys. My influence was one-to-one and not the stuff of kings. I'd not improve the lot of those in Maine or Alice Springs. I'll never blow the clouds away or cause the sun to shine. All I could do was shed some light within this world of mine. When Mavis died 5 years ago, it might have been the end. But everywhere I chanced to look, I found I had a friend. It all goes round and round, you see, the warmth you give away. It's like a banknote set aside to meet a rainy day. One tiny corner, that's our share upon our planet Earth. But space enough to do some good and demonstrate our worth. A worldly enough without the need to stray beyond the crest. You simply love the ones you love and smile upon the rest. Thank you very much.